Ah yes, the reason why my phone now doesn't have a headphone jack. Just to interject for a quick moment, this entire video is going to be an ultra condensed version of an existing article on my website. So if you want to know more, or if you think I missed out anything, just go to my website, crinacle.com. Now, for content like this, you know, the best of kind of content, I am fully expecting most of you coming here watching to not know who I am. Probably asking yourself, who is this guy? Who is this Jagoff? Who is he to tell me what is the best? And of course, in response, I have to show off my power level. So, hi, my name is Crinacle. I run crinacle.com in ear fidelity. You can call me the founder, owner, CEO, CTO, janitor. And in total, I have ranked, tested, and measured 1,000 earphones. At the very least. I'm at the point where I have basically stopped counting after 1,000. So whatever the number is, yeah. But that's earphones in general, wired and wireless. For wireless stuff, true wireless buds, true wireless sets, I have not tested as much. A measly 35. Still impressive by its own right, but you know, next to the number of a literal 1,000, Further disclaimers, of course, I don't like to do these things, but I have to say it anyways. This entire best of list, countdown, whatever you call it, is based purely on sound performance. So things like build quality, aesthetics, battery life, whatever, all do not factor into these rankings. So if you care about literally anything else, this video is not for you. I mean, if you want to know about the other things, of course, you can go to the other tech tubers who are the opposite of me, where they care about everything but the sound. I mean, you have seen it, right? Like the entire video, like 90% of it is going to be gushing over like the connectivity, the battery life, and how well it fits in your ears. And then when it's time to talk about sound, it sounds great. Anyways, look how pretty it is. So yeah, I'm basically the counterweight to that kind of content. I literally only care about sound. So use my rankings in tandem with their rankings. At least that's the way that I would recommend you to navigate this very saturated market. And of course, the second disclaimer is that this list is only going to comprise of in-ear sets, which means buds, earbuds, out the window. Probably some of you are asking, what's the difference between earbuds and IEMs? Well, one goes into your ear. Basically, things like the original Apple AirPods, and nope, disqualified, out the window. Now, of the boring stuff out of the way, let's now talk about the awards, because while the video title says the best, there are also different kinds of best. First of all, the award for Value King, self-explanatory. It's getting the best bang for your buck, the best price to performance, etc. I mean, the moment I say Value King, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? The second award category will be the top of the mainstream, which means something that you can buy off of a physical store. Mainstream. Like the things that I can list off the top of the head is like Apple, Samsung, Sony, Bose, you know, those brands, really mainstream, but which is the best amongst them? That's a big question mark. And the final award category, the Audiophile's secret stash. Practically no one outside of the audiophile community knows of this pick, but it is undeniably the best sounding and even of the best value. I know the hipsters out there are gonna be mad at me for revealing the secret stash, but you know, fuck them. You guys need the good shit too. The first award category, Value King by MSRP. I'll explain later. Goes to the Libertech PurePlay Z3 2.0. My god, that's such a long name. This true wireless set used to go by the name of the Libertech Tevi, which is also a mystery as to why they changed it to this mouthful. In fact, from now I'm just gonna call it the Tevi because I'm not gonna repeat PurePlay Z3 2.0 every single time I want to refer to this set, alright? The Tevi is known within the audiophile circles as one of the best sounding true wireless sets, and even going beyond that, one of the best $100 IEMs, period, regardless of whether or not it's wired or wireless. To the nerds, they call it the etymologic, but in true wireless form. But to the mainstream, probably you don't understand why that is deserving of that much hype. To put it in a general nutshell, basically it means that it's really balanced. Everything is well tuned. Everything just sounds natural. The Tevi is one of those very rare few true wireless buds that don't default to that deep V-shaped kind of signature or a very bassy kind of signature. You know, the kind of tuning that makes it sound really, really exciting at first listen, but it's not really the most natural. And so at a price of $100 with the street price going as low as $60, the Lipotech Tevi, again PurePlay Z3 2.0, is the value king, according to me. I have to remind people again that this is all my opinion. I'm not saying that all of this is objective fact. Let's all be adults on this. And now the next award goes to the top of the mainstream: Apple, Samsung, Sony, Bose, whatever else mainstream is out there. Who gets the title? Samsung. I myself have gushed over the Samsung Galaxy Buds lineup in another video, basically just going through all of the different attributes of every single model on their lineup, barring of course their worst ones. Never get the Buds Live. And I know that this is gonna probably stir a lot of controversy, considering that there are again a lot of Apple fanboys or Sony fanboys. But this is a hill that I'm willing to die on. The Samsung Galaxy Buds are the best sounding true wireless buds on the market today. One of, or at least within the mainstream. And it's not hard to see why. After all, they have purchased one of the most recognizable audiophile brands, AKG, and one of the most prolific audio research brands, Harman International. So when people come up to me and say like, oh, there's no way that Samsung Galaxy stuff can sound good, why not? There's so much research going into their audio products right now that is going to be even more surprising if their audio products sucked. But yeah, there's a lot of Galaxy Buds lineup, so I'm just gonna put through like 3 scenarios in which you would select each one of the Galaxy Buds. If you want the cheapest one, go for the original. Goes for fairly cheap on eBay. Now it's kind of like, you know, not a lot of people want them and therefore they're offloading them at really cheap prices, which is kind of a shame because again, they're so good sounding. If you want the set with the best battery life, well, the Galaxy Buds Plus, which is 11 hours of battery life. Honestly, after I've used the Plus, I realized that, oh my god, I need like at least 9 or 10 hours of battery life at a single charge. The best overall package though, I'll probably give it to the Galaxy Buds 2, where you know you want your ANC, which the original and the Plus doesn't have, and various other quality of life improvements over the Plus. Galaxy Buds 2, great choice either way. And of course, if you just want the best of the best and don't care about your wallet, well, the Galaxy Buds Pro, kind of a no-brainer there. More expensive, more better. True in this case. And now, I feel like I need to do some honorable mentions because I kind of predict the comment section right now. Oh, Crin, you didn't talk about you didn't talk about you are a fraud. Again, this whole video is going to be an ultra condensed version of the true wireless bias guide that I have on my website. So if you want to know more, again, please go there. If not, stick around, let me explain. So honorable mention number 1, the obvious one, AirPods Pro. AirPods Pros are good. And I know I'm surprising a lot of people by saying that. Like, oh, an audiophile approves of the AirPods Pro? Yes, it is actually pretty decent, even from just a purely sound standpoint. Like, first of all, it's balanced. It's not like a hard V-shape. It's not like a massive bass boost. I was kind of afraid because Apple bought Beats. So the first time that they announced the AirPods Pros, I was kind of going like, okay, this is gonna be like super bassy, isn't it? And subverting all expectations, the AirPods Pro is neutral, balanced. Some would even say boring. But it's all of the attributes that makes me as an audiophile say like, okay, the AirPods Pros actually goes on my approved list of true wireless buds, which is absolutely surprising. And of course, coupled with the fact that the AirPods Pros probably have the best quality of life stuff in their earbuds, like in terms of connectivity, in terms of responsiveness, and there is no surprise why the AirPods Pros are one of the most, if not the most popular true wireless buds on the market today. And still though, AirPods Pros gets the Audiophile approved checkmark. But I know, it's not just Apple, it's also Sony. I can already hear the Sony fanboys in the comment section right now. Do not worry, your stuff also gets an honorable mention. The WF1000XM3s and the WF1000XM4s, both of which are a tongue twister, and it took me a long time to figure out how to pronounce it. Don't get me wrong, both of these are amazing, especially the XM3s. For its time. Purely from a sound perspective, I do get it. The XM3s have been the top when they first released. They kind of got usurped by the Samsung lineup at this point in time, but they are genuinely great sounding, if a little bit weird to wear. And I know that I said that this entire video is just going to be purely focused on sound, but you have to kind of put your foot down at some point in time. This does not fit a human ear properly. The XM4s, on the other hand, is kind of like a quality of life improvement across the board. I don't think anyone would disagree that the XM4s is an overall superior product, but I think it sounds a little worse than the XM3s. And I know people are going to talk about LDAC and all that, which is a really good codec, and what I feel like is the future of Bluetooth if Sony ever feels like licensing it out to the rest of the companies. But the problem is that no amount of bandwidth processing is going to matter if your tuning absolutely sucks. Not that the Sony XM series sucks, at least for the in-ear ones. The headphones, on the other hand, that's a topic for another time. Minor mentions to the Jabra Elites, at least the 65Ts. I didn't like the 75s, and I haven't tried the 85s, but the 65Ts are actually pretty solid. I mean, I can see why they're popular. First of all, they're cheap, they're pretty well tuned, and therefore solid gets my approval. So I've gone through all of the honorable mentions that I wanted to address at this point. But wait, it's not time to talk about the secret stash yet. Let me now talk about the dishonorable mentions. First of all, this video is sponsored by Raycon earbuds. I wish. Raycons, the thing that you probably know at this point for being absolutely aggressive in their marketing towards YouTubers, alongside the greats like Ray the Shadow Legend. And special thanks to Mr. Dangpots for helping me in our crusade against the menace that is Raycon earbuds. So yes, to rain on your parade, Raycon earbuds are not great. In fact, calling them not great is very much underselling it. They are terrible. Dog shit. First of all, tuned, I don't know who tuned it, but it was clearly someone who really liked bass and treble and nothing else. The Raycon earbuds are basically a laughingstock in my community and the general audiophile community at large because of the fact that it's such a mainstream tuning. And look, I'm probably insulting some people by saying like, oh, mainstream tuning, but genuinely, this amount of bass, you just hear bass. And it's not just the bass that is like big, boosted, and bloaty and muddy and all similar descriptors. On top of that, there is the sharpest treble I have ever heard in a true wireless bud. They have combined the worst of both worlds into one beautiful YouTube sponsored package. So Raycon earbuds, this honorable mention in that you should never buy one. It's literally just a cheap Chinese OEM rebranded by Mr. Ray J and sold to you because his name is on the package and, you know, some YouTubers told that you should buy one, right? Not to knock on them, like, I'm honestly grateful to Raycon for helping some of my favorite YouTubers literally earn a living. It's just that as an audiophile and as a professional headphone nerd, their existence insults me. Second dishonorable mention is from Audio Technica. Some of you may recognize Audio-Technica as the people who make the absolutely legendary / popular M50X. So you may think that they are a reputable audiophile brand, and therefore the true wireless buds that they shit out their asses year after year is also as legendary and as good. I wish. In fact, I would say that Audio-Technica true wireless buds are some of the worst in the market. Like, I'm talking on par with Raycons. Yes, I'm going there. It's in the opposite direction though. Most of the ATH stuff are kind of like either super harsh, like super treble, all you hear is just, or it's just mud and bass and not even with any treble at all. It is as if the entire acoustic design team of Audio-Technica has a singular slider either towards bass or treble, and whenever they release a new one, all they do is just flick the slider into either direction all the way to the maximum. Another dishonorable mention would be the Master and Dynamic MW07. All of them. I had no idea how many variants of the MW7 actually exists until I looked it up and I realized, wow, they really just recycled the same true wireless buds just for different use cases. Some of you may recognize the MW7 as the Louis Vuitton true wireless earphones, which, you know, says a lot. So with that association, that effectively means that the world's most expensive true wireless bud is also one of the worst ones. But in any other case, the last dishonorable mention would probably be the most surprising to the most of you. Sennheiser Momentum. Yes, I know, Sennheiser. But weren't you just sponsored by them? I thought Sennheiser was the audiophile brand. I thought they only made good shit. I wish. Yes, the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 1s and 2s are disappointing. They're not terrible. They're definitely not as terrible as the others in the dishonorable mentions list. But after seeing how the Momentum True Wirelesses were promoted by a lot of websites and tech tubers as one of, if not the best true wireless buds out in the market, even calling them the best sounding as well, I have to put my foot down and say, absolutely not. The mid-range, they destroyed the mid-range. Everything legendary about Sennheiser mostly pertains to their headphones lineup, and there is not a single shred of what made the headphones great in the Momentum True Wireless. So again, don't get me wrong, the Momentum True Wirelesses are not terrible, but they're also not good, and that kind of means that I have to just say it out loud. Not a recommendation. But alright, we finished all of the honorable and dishonorable mentions. Now let's go into the most anticipated part of this video, the audiophile's secret stash. What exactly is it? I actually had mentioned this brand earlier on this video, but surprisingly, this brand also has their own lineup of true wireless buds as well. And the best one is the N400. The AKG N400 is, in my opinion, the best sounding true wireless buds ever, beating even the Samsung Galaxy Buds, which I had again previously gushed over. The N400 just takes it to a slightly higher level. Not that much of an improvement by all means. Like, I'm not gonna tell you like, oh, this is so much better than the Galaxy Buds. No, it's just a mild refinement, I would say. But it basically comes with all of the general bells and whistles that you would get in your modern true wireless buds. It has ANC, it has a not terrible battery life. The case itself is made out of metal and is fairly sturdy as well. I'm talking about things that are not sound, because in terms of sound, it's pretty much an open and closed case. It sounds great. It's a little bit bright, of course. Nothing is perfect. I'm clearly very much like an audiophile, so I still critique the sound coming out of the N400. But again, the N400, as with everything else that I've gushed over as well, can compete with the wired IEMs in its price bracket. Which leads me to my next point. Now, I don't know the reason for this, Maybe it's because sales weren't doing that well and they had a huge amount of stock left over. But this thing right now on the AKG and Harman Audio websites are going for an unprecedented $48. That's cheaper than even the old Galaxy Buds. That is at least for now. I'm not sure what's gonna happen when they finally clear the stock, or they might restock at a higher price, of course. But at $50, nothing else touches this. If you can get this at $50, you literally just end it. Nothing else beats it. 20% of the price of an AirPods Pro. Just think about it. And not just the fact that it's cheap, it is, again, the best sounding. Again, comes with the bells and whistles of every other ANC buds. The build is solid. Definitely not something that you would ever get in any other $50 set, which is also why I am skeptical as to how long they can maintain this $50 price. So yeah, I guess given the performance and especially given the price, why not? Just go down and buy one, try it out. I bought one at like 150 US. Never in my wildest dreams would I expect this thing to go all the way down to sub $50. And that pretty much concludes this best true wireless roundup video. Again, of course, there's much more information on my website, crinacle.com/guide/TWS. So again, if you just want more information about the things that I didn't mention in this video, just go down there, read the article. That is where I would keep most things the most up to date. And here is the part of the video where I thank my big money boys. Here are all the people who have kindly donated to the Beryllium $20 tier on my Patreon. And for those who are on my $30 tier, thank you to McMadface, Dennis, Jerry Liu, HK57, Moneyboy, ZF, James, Fisk, and Aussie. Thank you all for your support. Just before I end off everything else, a happy Chinese New Year to all of my fellow Chinese people. Hopefully all of you didn't gain too much weight over the long week. But apart from that, nothing else much to say. See you next week. Don't die. Fuck off.